Hi everyone. Today we have got a Volkswagen Golf Mark 7 uh, 2013 with a 1.4 TSI engine, and the engine code is CMBA, I think. So the car brought to our garage with the limp mode, and as you can see, the EPC light is currently illuminating, and also when the car came at first, the engine management light was also illuminating. So I checked the DTCs, and I got this DTCs, diagnostic travel code, and it says it's P012 200 throttle position A circuit. Total position sensor A circuit, low input, and the second one is P022 200 total position or total position sensor or switch B circuit, low input. So I'm going to show you that on the scanner screen as well, but before we go there, and I'm going to show the live data of the throttle body. So I have brought all the throttle body related function to the top of the list. As you can see here, throttle body valve position absolute 16.5 percent, throttle position known, throttle valve position 216.5, accelerator position 14.5, and accelerator position 14.5. Total valve specified value is 0, and it changes to 1.2, 0.8, and 0, and then 2, like this. Total valve adaptation steady state condition is 0. So if I press the accelerator pedal down to the floor, and the value or percentage of the accelerator position sensor is changing, but the total position percentage value is not changing. As you watch now, I have press the accelerator pedal down to the floor. As you can see, the accelerator position 2 value is 85.1, and also accelerator position 1 is 87.1, but the throttle valve position, it's not changing at all. Throttle valve position norm 6.3, total valve position absolute 16.5. so as you can see, I'm going to show you the screen correctly, because when I was talking, the camera focus was somewhere else, and now I'm pressing. As you may hear the engine sound, that the accelerator pedal position is changing, but the throttle position is not changing at all. So now I'm going to show you the fault code, which is stored in the memory. Going to fault code. This is the fault code. The first one is, I think, the ambient temperature sensor was stolen from the car when the car came, so ignore that one. The U0 23500. So we are going to be focused on P0 1200, P0 12200 and P0 22200. So the first one, P0 12200, is throttle or pedal position sensor A circuit, low input. And the second one, P0 22200, throttle pedal position sensor or switch B, low input. So we are going to investigate that today and see what's going to happen, and also we will take the sensor data as I have here. So as I have here, this is the throttle position sensor. As you can see, the problem is within the pin number 1 and pin number 2, and as you can see, the pin number 2 is the 5 volt reference voltage to the potentiometer resistance, and number pin number 4 is the signal wire of the position sensor number 2, and number 6 is the potentiometer ground wire, and as you can see, pin number 1 is the signal wire of the throttle position sensor 1 sensor. So we are going to check first 2 and 6. 2 is going to be the supply voltage from the ECU to the throttle position sensor, and 6 is going to be the ground of the throttle position sensor. So we are going to check that with the ignition on, and that should give us 5 volt. So as you can see here in the O2 data, they say that's 2 and 6 with the connector to the throttle body connected will have 5 volt reference, will have 5 volt reference voltage. Check in supply voltage, test at harness multiplug. Okay, after that, with the ignition on, we are going to check 1 and 6 here with the wiring harness connected to the throttle body, and it's going to be 0.9 volt as you can see here. So 1 and 6, it's going to be the signal voltage from throttle body position sensor 1. So as you can see, we are going to, where is that? Okay, so that's going to be 1, and with the number 6, pin number 6, which is the ground wire to the throttle position sensor. The ground is 1 ground for both sensor, so that should give us a 0.9 volt. And then, so here one thing I want to mention, but ignition on, throttle close, so we should have this. Then we are going to probe same connector 1 and 6, but with the ignition on, throttle fully open, and that should give us 4.4 volts. 1 and okay, 1 and 6 with the ignition on, throttle fully open, we should have here at pen 1 on the voltmeter. That's going to be, we are going to connect the red lead of the voltmeter to number 1, and the black lead is going to be connected to number 6, or to the ground side of the sensor. So we will have, with the ignition on, throttle fully open here at number 1, approximately 4.4 volt according to the O2 data specification. As you can see here, that's that. Okay, number 3 here, we are going to check 4 and 6 with the harness connector connected to the throttle body, ignition on, throttle closed, and then we should have 4.2. So now we are going to sensor 2 signal wire, which is this number 4. So the voltmeter or the scanner lead, red lead, is going to be on number 4, and the black lead, which is the ground or the ground side lead, will be on the number 6. So with the ignition on, throttle close, we should have 4.2 volts. So again, same connector, the scanner lead at same position in both connectors. So 4 and 6. 4 is the signal wire, and 6 is the ground side of the throttle position sensor number 2. So the ignition is on and throttle fully open. We should have 0.6 volt. So we are going to investigate that, and then after that, if we have the correct value according to the manufacturer specification, then we are going to check the both sensors, sensor 1 and 2, correlation as well. And now I'm going to take you to check the sensor position sensor of the throttle body. So number 1 sensor, which will we check the reference supply voltage, and then we will go further. Okay, this is the throttle body harness connector, and it has 6 wires. So 1 and 4 are for the signal, 6 is for the potentiometer ground, and 2 is the 5 volt reference, and the rest 2 are for the throttle body motor. Now I'm going to group number 2, which is the 5 volt reference number, to number 6, which is the ground circuit for the potentiometer position sensor. Okay, this is the throttle position sensor, and I'm going to connect red scanner lead to number 2 and the black to number 6, and the connector connected to the throttle body and ignition on. We should have let me have the look, 2 and 6, connector connected to throttle body, ignition on, 5 volt we should have. Now I'm going to turn the ignition on, and you watch. So I have turned the ignition on and we have 4.95. So in the O2 data they say we should have, I'm not sure whether that much less difference will affect the function of the sensor or not, as the typical value 5 volt, but we have the real value of 4.95 volts. Now I'm going to check connector pin 1 and 6 for the this is pin 1, this one pin 1, and this is pin 6. I'm going to check to get the signal voltage from throttle position sensor 1 with the ignition on and throttle closed, and the specified value is let me show you because I've got one camera. So 1 and 6 specified value 0.9 volt, ignition on, throttle closed, and I'm going to connect that and you watch. I have proved number 1 and number 6 with the ignition off. We have minus 0.11. Now I'm going to turn the ignition on and see what value we would have. So with the ignition on and throttle closed, and the manufacturer specification was 0.9 volt, and the actual value we have got is 0.75. I'm going to turn the ignition off again. Okay, as you can see, the voltage has dropped to 0.74. We still have that voltage. That was because the scanner records the last sample taken from the positive lead of the scanner. So now it has dropped to minus 0.11 again. Okay, now still 1 and 6 connected. Now I mean that 1 and 6 the scanner probes are on the same connector. So red is on number 1 and black lead is on number 6, which is the ground supply of the potentiometer. So before we had that ignition on, throttle closed, we should have 0.9 volt. Now we are going to test that with the ignition on, throttle fully open, and we should have 4.4 volt. So now the ignition is off. Now I'm going to turn the ignition on and fully press the accelerator pedal to the floor, down to the floor, and you watch that what value we will have on the scanner. So ignition is on, throttle is closed. Now we have got 0.75 volt. Now I'm going to press the accelerator pedal down to the floor. I have pressed the accelerator pedal down to the floor and watch the voltage. I cannot see the scanner. I hope might have seen the scanner, the voltage is changing on the screen of the scanner. Okay, I didn't see the scanner screen while I was pressing the accelerator pedal down down to the floor, and I hope you would have seen the changing in the voltage. So now we are going to go ahead with another test step, with another step of the testing procedure. Okay, we have finished with the throttle position sensor number 1. Now we are going to do the same procedure with the sensor 2. So we are going to check the 4 and 6 ignition on, throttle closed, then see the value, and after that we are going to we will not change the probe the lead connection, so the red lead of the scanner will be connected to pin 4 and the black lead will remains at the same position at 6. So with ignition on, we will see what value we can we have, and then after that we will so with the throttle closed, and then after that with the throttle open we will see what value we will have. So the manufacturer specification is that, so pin 4 and 6, so red lead of the scanner to pin 4 and black lead of the scanner to pin 6. So the connector of the harness is connected to the throttle body. So ignition on, throttle fully open, we will have 0.6 volt. So this is the specification, and you check that what we will have. Okay, now scanner red lead is to pin 4, which is the throttle position sensor number 2 signal wire, and the black lead of the scanner is connected to pin 6, which is the ground side of the potentiometer. So now I've connected these two together, and as you can see the ignition is still off. We have minus 0.11. Now I'm going to turn the ignition on, as if you remember the manufacturer specification was 4.2 volt, and you see that what value we will have, the actual value. So ignition on, throttle is closed. The manufacturer specification was, where is that? 4.2. So 4 and 6 connected, ignition on, throttle closed, 4.2 volt. So actual value we have is 4.10. It's 4.1 volt. So the difference is approximately 0.1 volt. So now I'm going to press the accelerator pedal down the floor, and you see that what value we will have. Let me show you the manufacturer value. Manufacturer specification is, say, look, 4 and 6 still connected, same probe, same pin. The scanner leads are connected to the same pins, and harness connected to the throttle body, ignition on, throttle fully open. We should have 0.6 volt. So now I'm going to press the pedal, and you watch that what value we will have. Okay, accelerator pedal is down to the floor, and I cannot see the scanner there. So you might have seen that what value we will have. Now the throttle, the accelerator pedal is down to the floor, and watch the value, what value you have. Now I have released it. Back down to the floor, and now I have released it. Okay, as you can see, I have put something on the accelerator pedal to hold it down to the floor, and you can see the voltage is 0.51. The manufacturer specification is stated, where is that? This is the manufacturer specification, 4 and 6, ignition on throttle fully open. So we should have 0.6 volt, but actual value we will have, we actually have 0.51 volt. So now I'm going to show you the two signals correlation. I'm going to show you the number 1 and number 4 signal wires correlation, that's how they are changing. Okay, I've connected channel 1 or yellow one to the signal wire of the potentiometer sensor 1, and the green or channel 2 to the pin 4 or potentiometer signal wire of sensor 2. So now, as you can see, the ignition is off, and we have at both sensor signal wires minus 0.11, minus 0.11, and now you keep watching on. I'm going to turn the ignition on, and then after that I'm going to press the accelerator pedal down to the floor, and you watch the correlation between correlation of the signal changing between two sensor, or the correlation of the two potentiometer sensor 1 and 2. Okay, ignition is on. Now, as you can see, sensor 1 has 0.75 volt, ignition on, throttle closed, and sensor 2 has 4.11 volt at ignition on, throttle closed. Now I'm going to press down the accelerator pedal down. The sensor 2 signal should decrease smoothly, which is right now 4.11, and the potentiometer position sensor signal, which is sensor 1, should increase smoothly, and that should cross at point each other. Okay, I'm pressing the accelerator pedal down. I cannot see the scanner, but you might be able to see the scanner, see how they are both potentiometer are correlating to each other. So sensor 2 position sensor voltage is decreasing as you press the accelerator pedal down, and the sensor 1 of the position sensor voltage is increasing as you press the accelerator pedal down. Watch. As you can see, I have freeze the signal and brought back on the scanner screen the signal wire or the signal voltage cross each other at a point which is programmed in the ECU. So at this point, we have not got any potential suspicion by the throttle body, but the car goes to limp mode, but I'm not sure with the small difference in the voltage or the value which we have taken and you saw might affect the function of the throttle body or that or not. I'm going to share that with the customer and see the customer response, because the throttle body is very, very expensive. If you change that and the problem is somewhere else, that's going to be a disaster for us and for the customer as well. Thank you.